and then we have AaronDobbe using the tile sprite. That's kind of risky, I guess. That tile sprite's not an easy one to use. There's not many indicators with it. It's not like a normal sprite.
Yeah, it's I've never tried it before, but I can imagine it's quite different to play with it. But it all depends on what you're used to as well. I mean, if you're used to playing with that sprite, then maybe it's easier for you to play with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Starting with a piece of love in Link's house, so he had his heart in a chest. Early map check, 5 and 6 on Hera and Eastern. If we start with a hammer, that's going to be pretty interesting. Or not just hammer, but if we find early glove and if we find a mirror, we'll be able to get up there pretty quick to get Hera, and possibly even, if you say that bow strat, go to straight to Eastern and finish that. So
yeah, for sure. It's not very uncommon to be able to beat both of those dungeons early. So we do get a hammer. That's always nice to see. I think because that's one of the pieces of the puzzle that you need for Dark World access.
Yeah, and that's one of the best. I think most runners are always happy about starting with a hammer. At this level with the top 128. 99% of these runners are very proficient with the hammer. Even though it has a shorter hitbox, it's tempered sword damage. I'm good with receiving that. So probably going to see a little bit of farming for bombs, see what we get. Not too early, but they're going to try and keep it moving without stopping too long to farm for them.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. Just like the hammer, it gives you the opportunity to farm as much as you want, because you can use it without having any ammo. So we see both of the runners here taking some quick shots to just take out some cards. But there's also the possibility that they might find the bombs in one of the chests on the way down here to Zelda.
That is very true. There are some bomb drops, or not drops, but bombs in the actual item pool that will be hidden there. One of the things that I do like to do is I like to try to aim to kill some of these blue guards. They tend to have the bomb drops in them quite often, like that.
Yes,
and
kicking off.
Yeah, Numberplay gets his bomb, and AaronDobbe didn't. He missed it. So I don't know if it's just a little bit different. I don't know if hopefully Dobby ends up getting one. I would really like to see him getting one before the back of escape here.
Yeah, I think the Numberplay maybe killed one more blue guard than AaronDobbe, so I think he was a little bit further ahead in the drop pool, but I'm not certain.
I'm not certain either. I don't remember seeing Numberplay kill the far right one. I know that they at least both killed two. So either way, another spot to farm for the bombs is the snakes or the ropes in the dark escape. So that's a common place to have bombs. Hopefully we don't have to spend too much time back there. The thing that I always worry about is, well, that's fortunate. Early sword is always nice to have. And Numberplay is going to go ahead and take a moment to grab those hearts. That's actually a good move. I was about to mention he only has half a heart, one hit, and he will have to start over, and that's never a good thing.
Yeah, for sure. At this point, just play it safe is definitely worth it, because you're gonna meet a lot of snakes in the back escape, and it can be hard to dodge them sometimes.
Yeah, the back of escape is hard to dodge most of the stuff. A random bat can come up and hit you. The snake room is almost impossible to get perfect RNG on that and walk through those snakes without taking a hit. That's just you want to grab those hearts. There's a few places you can grab hearts along here. There's actually these two pots where Aaron is going through. That's another place to easily get hearts. So a couple of easy spots. So there's really no excuse to go back there without hearts. And so far, we found a sword, we found the key. I don't think we've found the map yet, so we're waiting for the map that might be the last chest, or it could be in the back of escape. Now, at this moment, if Aaron doesn't find a bomb and we find something important in the back of escape, one of the most important things that can be back there that can be painful for a runner is the first glove upgrade. That's a very unfortunate thing to be back there, because you can't get back there without another glove upgrade. and there's only 2 in the game. So you don't want that to happen.
Yeah, for sure. And we see AaronDobbe farming as much as possible, but not getting anything, unfortunately.
And the dark room chest is nada as far as the bombs go. They've gotten 3 pieces of heart, 1 more. They'll have another heart in their hands. There's a couple of rats up here that he can farm that are actually really good to go up. There you go. That's a common place to get some bomb drops. So that's fortunate. I'm glad he got one there. So we're not going to see any major problems from that.
Yeah, and it's always nice to get back escape in your first run through, because as you said, it can be a little bit dodgy sometimes to get back there.
Yeah, I've seen it happen. I've had it happen. That glove upgrade, ether. Yeah, that's a. So ether being back there, if that would have been something that would have been required for Meyer or Turtle Rock access, that could have been a trolley location, just never getting back there. But we don't have to worry about that today. So Sanctuary Chest is going to have something. Let's see what pops up here. Is it going to be something useful, or is it just going to be maybe the 4th heart piece? Let's see. And Numberplay ended up gaining that little bit of a lead here again, just because of the having to farm on AaronDobbe's side.
Ooh, and there's the mirror.
Don't do it, Numberplay.
Oh yeah, you don't want to mirror when coming from the escape sequence. That would put you back to the beginning of Hyrule Castle.
Yes, and that would be a big misstep. If you save and quit and go to Sanctuary and use the mirror, you will get put to the front of Sanctuary. It's actually a decent time save in terms of seconds, but it's also one of those things that if you're coming out of Escape and you use that mirror, getting it from Escape, you will go back to the beginning of Hyrule Castle because the game has a spot that you've come in at, so it knows to take you back there. Hey, first glove upgrade. And we are pretty much there for access to Dark World. We just need that Moon Pearl.
Yeah, and AaronDobbe is checking out 2 of the triples. One of them having bombs, so they're all set for the bombs they need for Kakariko, which is probably one of the reasons why they went up here. Also, the bush crabs having 20 rupees is very nice. It's a very good way to farm for money if that's going to be needed later.
That's 20 rupees, I think. I think he just did the same thing I did whenever he looked at that. I was like, wait, what was that?
Yeah, that was just 20 rupees, so...
the bottom of that rupee can look like the red cane. It can look like the fire rod if you're not careful. My apologies. Didn't mean to cut you off there.
Oh, no. I was just going to say, we won't have an Aga Seed for that item at the very least.
Yeah, the only opportunity for an Aga Seed right now would be if the Moon Pearl was on the pyramid.
Yeah, and that's it's not very common.
That's one of the more uncommon things to actually pop up, especially with what we have right now. The fact that we've already found a glove and a hammer, that means that the access to the portals, to 2 important portals to be able to get to both sides of the Dark World are there, so we don't have to worry about using Aga for that access. So yeah, if Moon Pearl's not found, then yeah, we're probably going to be locked into doing Aga, but it's probably not likely.
Yeah, and we see Numberplay doing Kakariko from the south and then going up, because they wanted to go down to the bomb shop first to guarantee to have some bombs going into the well and blindside here. And in the meanwhile, AaronDobbe already farmed some bombs from those triples, so it's just gonna head straight in. And Numberplay getting the Master Sword, so that's a nice upgrade to that weapon.
Very nice upgrade. It's not the Moon Pearl though. And if Numberplay would have actually just gone into the well, he would have gotten bombs. So that would have been a save of money in case you needed to use Sora money or something like that. But he has enough rupees now to be able to buy from the bottle vendor. He ended up collecting enough altogether, so. And so far, nothing really too much of value in. I mean, there's the sword upgrade, but CAC's been coming up pretty empty so far.
Yeah, for sure. The sword doesn't really progress us to anything at this point. Not even Aga, because that requires a lamp as well.
Yeah, one major indication of what a seed wants to do to you as far as getting to Dark World is whether or not you get the lamp early. If you get the lamp early, then you kind of get that gut feeling of, oh, great, it wants me to do Aga. Both of these runners probably aren't thinking Aga at all. They've seen the, well, Aaron has seen the item. Numberplay has not, but so Numberplay might be thinking, oh, okay, this could be an Aga seed, without knowing what's on that lumberjack ledge.
Yeah, I would imagine they will not be too concerned about that until they find the boots at the very least. Because you do need the boots in order to get that item.
Blue
Speaking of
mail.
boots, yeah, they're required to get that blue mail as well.
I like this. Okay, never mind. Maybe Numberplay is going to just... Okay. So if I don't get anything in CAC, I like to actually just go gamble the racing game. It would have given me the bug net, but I like to do it just in the fact of that's so many locations, and if I only got like a sword, the chances of the race game having something is just infinitely better.
Yeah, I can definitely see that reasoning.
Yeah, and I mean it doesn't always pay off, but I mean we all know Rando being Rando, so. So Numberplay is heading over to the dam right now. Probably going to go right over to the mini Moldorm cave.
Yeah, that is the standard routing, more or less, to just check it out straight away and go all the way to Ice Rod Cave. And AaronDobbe, well, he spent the time walking over here. He's playing as a tile. Well, I only think it's fitting that he has the Swagnet as well.
Of course, gotta do all the memes. But he might be thinking safety. He might be thinking, this might come in handy later, if for whatever reason I don't get blue mail somewhere else, because he's probably not going to come back and grab the blue mail. If and they, when they do find the boots. So, well, that was a nice little mini Moldorm move. Well then, mini Moldorm cave is coming up pretty empty.
Yeah, so this is interesting. So both runners know that Eastern is a crystal. So that's looking like the most likely place to find progression at this point, if nothing is in Ice Road Cave. But it's also a possibility that the runners are going to think that the progression over in Eastern or in Sashala is going to be a lantern, and therefore they might decide to actually sequence break up to Death Mountain before getting that lantern.
Yes, that's something I was considering as well. It's a very big possibility that that Moon Pearl could be on Death Mountain, and the lamp is what's holding that.
Oh, never mind. There's the flute.
Or the flute.
Because I was gonna say it's a little bit risky going up there without the lantern, just because of the possibility of an item or the big key hiding out in the basement of Hera. But now with the flute, it kind of seems like the seed wants them to go up without any fire source.
Yeah, so it's probably Moon Pearl can be on East Side Death Mountain. We've got that access because we have the mirror, we have the hammer, we can go over there, check quite a few item locations. Yeah, that's where my next location would be. Now, there's also another spot that isn't being checked right now that is very possible to have something. Sphere 1 location, Agina's Cave.
Yeah.
That's a big possibility. Not only does it make me feel that way because Ice Rod Cave had progression, but it just seems to be the case that people skip it, and it's got something important. For all we know, it could be the moon pearl. So
Yeah, and with the flute, makes the check in Agina's cave a little bit earlier, a little bit more of a possibility here, because with the flute you can get over there pretty quickly. You don't have to walk all the way over to desert. So it's gonna be interesting to see if any of the runners decides to just check that before going to the desert area later.
yeah, I'm gonna sequence break the old man. Pretty simple dark room to do. Coming from the reverse end and going back in. Really, just the only thing you have to worry about there is a hole just before you get to the door where the old man's standing. But that's the only thing. But if you do, as long as you hold down, you'll go down the way. You'll hit one block, move forward just a little bit, go down again, and you'll skip the hole. So not hard to do at all. All right, what's on Spectacle Rock? Is it a fire source?
It could very well be, but it's red at the very least. Oh, and there's a King of Burn now. That's gonna put Spike Cave into logic if they find the moon pearl up here on Death Mountain.
Yeah, and he's opting to go ahead and grab that. I don't blame him. Not a bad move at all. Any kind of safety, and it also makes sure that you know that you have it for, like you said, logic of Spike Cave. But the thing is, if he decides to go in to Hera, he has no fire source. He could be locked out of there. It could be easy to go ahead and check that and see, but you're also going to run the risk of isolating that location of the basement if it happens to hold an item. So now I'm going to be interested to see if they find the Cane of Samaria and whether or not they hold off to turn in that mushroom. Sequence breaking and doing the fake powder is a really I've seen that make or break a game.
Yeah, so, for sure. With the flute, it's also a very it's very fast to turn in the mushroom, and you can decide to do it after let's see this map check first. So it looked like Skullwoods and Swamp was our other two pendants, Skullwoods being the green pendant.
That is what I saw. Yep, that is 100% getting a second map check from Aaron.
The bunny sprite for the tile is apparently a small key. I've never seen that before.
I've never seen the bunny sprite for the Squirtle one. That one was funny. It was the Squirtle Squad with the sunglasses on. I've never seen that one.
So both decided to go into Hera. We did find a big key, so we will be able to finish the dungeon. To just be a matter of if we can get both items as well.
Yeah, and both runners still have yet to go over to the eastern side, so Sahashwala could still hold something, as well as there are 3 items that are sitting over there waiting to be discovered in Eastern Palace.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so what I was gonna say, by the way, so as of this moment, that mushroom is oh, that was unfortunate for AaronDobbe. Anyways, it's not in sequence because they don't have the lantern, and they got this from the old man. But next time they decide to save and quit, I wouldn't be surprised to see the runner just flew over to turn it in, see if it leads to anything important, and if it doesn't, they can always do a hard reset and just save that mushroom for the magic backglitch later on.
Very also something that I've seen that is that pretty much made the game for a runner. That's a very clever play, and if it leads to something really important, you can just kind of bank on Magic Bat not having something, or just finding the powder on the way. So very good use of the reset capability that they give you in these races. Numberplay opting to do the 3 spin slashes, which is going to do temper sword damage. Not getting trolled by Trolldorm today. Does he have the small key or the second item? There is an item in the basement. So we've only found one item, I believe, and that was just the 50 rupees. Or was there an item in front of...
No, there was not. So they only have one item at this point.
Okay,
so
Vinyl Knight is saying that both items were found. So
oh, okay, never mind me then.
Map in the basement. So yeah, I wasn't sure about that. I couldn't remember if it was an arrow upgrade or something like that. So. All right, and Aaron making short work of Trolldorm as well. So that's both runners having their first boss down around 20 minutes and about 20 to 30 seconds, getting their first red crystal of all crystals as well. So that's heading in the right direction. We're still missing quite a few just progressive items. We're gonna need well, actually, let's kind of showcase what we don't need. One, we don't need flippers as of right now. Technically, by logic, we do, but these runners won't need it to be able to complete everything because Ice Palace is a crystal, but Swamp Palace is not required at this moment in time. Might be if there's something important in there, but we may get away without having flippers. But really, other than all of that, I mean, they're going to need to find the hookshot for Ganon's Tower, but hookshot could be in Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, if it's not required for Ice Palace, which is it never like it's not guaranteed to be required for Ice Palace, but it can be.
Very realistically, I mean, it's one of those things where I still take some. It takes me some hard brain work and a couple of pots of coffee to be able to figure out Ice Palace logic at times. But I do know that the most common thing, if the first chest in Ice Palace has a small key, hookshot is not required for Ice Palace.
Oh, there's Titansmith, so that opens up Checkerboard Cave actually.
That's
and Desert.
Is this gonna be my favorite location for Moon Pearl? I absolutely love Moon Pearl being in Checkerboard Cave because it's so unique, and we have
for sure
everything for it.
And this also means that once they actually get that Moon Pearl, they're gonna have both hammer and mitt when walking into the Dark World. So that's very nice to have so early on.
And Numberplay's wasting no time. Gonna go ahead and check. And we still haven't checked the Guinea Cave, which is honestly an easy check. So, but he's going to mirror.
I think he was trying to set up the Super Bunny glitch for the Maya shed here. Yeah,
he got it.
So
I've never seen it. Do you have to mirror to do that?
I don't think so. Oh, you rewarded big time straight away. That's your starting kit for doing Meyer, which actually is Ether as well. So just hookshot boots, one of those, and a Moon Pearl away from being able to beat Mr. Myers at this point.
What is that? That is one of the sequence breaks that I am just. Wow, man, that paid off right there. And honestly, that's one of those unique things that not every runner knows how to do. Not even like in this top 128 where we were talking about doing dark rooms, which is a common thing runners do. Quake on the torch right there, so we're not locked out of this dungeon by boots. We have our fire source, but sequence broken. Keep in mind, so the Moon Pearl is available somewhere. But that means Checkerboard Cave is legit, as well as Sahashvala's hut. We haven't been over there. Agina's cave, and still the pyramid. Zora as well. So
yeah, there's a couple of locations left for them to check. So they don't have to panic quite yet. Or actually, the pyramid cannot have the Moon Pearl anymore. Since that lantern was in the Dark World, Aga cannot be required to get the Moon Pearl.
You're right. You are right. You are absolutely right. So yeah, that lamp being right there means that so Aga Dream's dead, without a doubt. So that means the Moon Pearl won't be on the pyramid. It could be Zora, could be Agena, could be Sahashwala's hut, could be in Eastern. Quite a few places that it could be. So,
and it's gonna be interesting to see if Numberplay actually decides. Yeah, they decide to use getting second thoughts. Maybe realize that wait, the lantern is sequence broken. Let's just skip this for now. Or maybe they just realize that this is a pendant. I might not need to beat the boss.
I mean, it's one of those things where it's a pendant. Do I want to do this? Do I want to go make sure why I got my lamp on Numberplay's side? You know, it's like I can see why Numberplay was like, I don't think so.
Yeah, at this point, you want to get the Moon Pearl. You want to get Dark World access, so you can just do a lot more checks than just beating a pendant instead. So I can definitely see that. But in another way, I could see a Numberplay going for the boss there as well, since they have the lantern. If there is anything important in there, like AaronDobbe is not able to check this right now, and so that could have been like the first use of the lantern paying off, being sequence broken.
Yeah, and it's a real possibility that with this sequence break that we have, that the lamp could lead to the fire rod, or a fire source for Ice Palace. So there's a real possibility that that lamp being sequence broken is going to lead to something else, but we just have to find the Moon Pearl first. So
yeah, and Numberplay did fly to the witch, but decided not to turn in the mushroom because they do have the key now. So they want to wait until they have done the fake powder, it would seem.
I can't blame them. I mean, at this point, go ahead and do it. Or, like you said, if you just do the save and quit real quick, you can do the hard reset. Or we could just get the fire rod, the flippers right now.
Wow, yeah, that puts all the water checks in the flippers location in the light world in logic then.
So yeah, that opens up Waterfall Cave. That opens up Hobo. That opens up the Zora Ledge. That opens up about 5 different locations.
Yeah, and ironically, that opens up Landmolas as well. Because that's not sequence broken anymore, now that we actually have a fire source.
Yeah, so both runners have their fire source now. It's just a matter of where is the Moon Pearl? This is the hunt for the Moon Pearl this early. So.
Oh, and there's the powder on the island, so they do have access to it. Or they will have access to it as soon as they get the Moon Pearl, that is.
Yeah, because they won't be able to get to that spot without the. Well, no, technically you don't need the Moon Pearl to get there, do you?
Yeah, you can't use the flippers as a bunny.
Okay, I didn't know if the flippers worked as a bunny. I didn't know if the game just considered. Yeah, you can't use the boots technically, so yeah, the flippers not working makes sense. Silver's on. That is a 500 well spent, I think.
Yeah, getting silvers early, that could very well pay off. Kind of depends on how soon they get the bow. But we're still looking for that Moon Pearl. This is interesting. We have checked a lot of locations so far, but nothing really paying off. So AaronDobbe went up to the waterfall in Zora before checking Hobo, so they're gonna go down here and just make that check now instead, while Numberplay is doing it the reverse way. So after that, I think, yeah, the mushroom and Lamolas is our last two options, I think. So Numberplay picking up those silvers as well. So none of the runners is gonna have to deal with the silverless fight on Ganon. And oh yeah, we never went into Eastern. I forgot about that. So we have that on the table as well. And it looks like both runners are making that call. So the first three chests in this dungeon, and maybe the big chest, depending if we find that big key or not, is in logic as of now. The chest in the back is not, even though Numberplay does have that lantern that was sequence broken, so it's not in logic yet. But if we don't have all three items before that, I expect that both runners are gonna go back there to see if it has something. So getting a bottle, that opens up Sick Kid as a possibility as well. So we do get a every time we check something, we do get a few like new places in the light world unlocked. So that hunt is gonna continue for a while longer. So we did see the big key, so the big chest is in logic as well. There's still a possibility to get all three items before having to go into the back, and that's always nice to see. But no, there's the compass I spoke to soon.
So heading on through Eastern Palace, and still no Moon Pearl. Yeah, this is.
Yeah,
Man.
they checked everything in Eastern that's in logic right now. AaronDobbe heading to the back makes a lot of sense because that last item could still be there. So it makes sense to just get it over with straight away in case it's something important that the lamp would lock normally. But yeah, getting the bottle opens up Sick Kid. We have the mushroom. Can check that, and yeah, Lanmolas. That's our three options right now.
Yeah, so the second item in desert and the mushroom. That's it.
Yeah.
Hera base as a map, so yeah, that's not going to be it.
Yeah, so. and Sick Kid as well. They did find the glove in here, so I mean the bottle.
The bottle,
so
yeah.
That's the last item in Eastern, so that's always nice at very least that you know that you don't have to come back here until you're in go mode.
Yeah, that also kind of, until we find the bow, that kind of shuts off the Fat Fairy play. So
yeah,
really at this point, Aaron, it kind of feels like he may be a little ahead at this point, but just because Numberplay had sequence broken, he does have a few more items than Aaron does. But really, it's just going to come down to the Meyer shed's a really quick check, and once the Moon Pearl is found, I can imagine he might go back there pretty quickly. So
yeah, and Numberplay is yeah, he's gonna check that fake powder right now. It can't be the Moon Pearl, but it could be an important item. AaronDobbe knows where the oh, there's the ice rod. Okay, so Lemolas has something. Either something that unlocks something new in the light world, or the Moon Pearl.
I am baffled that this has gone down to literally the last possible check.
Yeah, and I mean, this is gonna feel maybe a little bit bad for Numberplay later when he has to return. He was so close of making the call of just beating Namolas.
He was really close to it, and the fact that the Sahashala Hut play opened up the ability to do that. So Aaron had to come back to do this, where Numberplay could have just literally knocked that out. I may have just gone ahead and gone over to do the locations I knew that were available instead of pulling out another sequence break. Even though he is about to turn this in, he knew where the powder was at. He saw the powder. So he knew that nothing was going to be behind there. He can go get the powder if need be. He can get the moon pearl and start getting other locations opened. That's one of the things that is really important. So, but so far, one pendant dungeon without a doubt required.
Yeah.
And Swamp Palace is fully a part of this right now. So Swamp Palace is accessible, not completable because we don't have the hookshot yet. So is Skullwoods. Skullwoods is fully completable at this point. So it's very possible that that a few things are still alive.
Yeah, for sure. It's gonna be interesting.
Bow on pet is a real possibility right now.
Yeah. Oh, looks like AaronDobbe used the fire rod with sword beams there at the start of the fight, but they took some damage from one of the stones, so can't do it anymore.
Yeah, isn't there a trick to be able to get an extra piece of damage from the fire rod and the sword beams and things like that?
Yeah, if you match your sword beams correctly while shooting the fire rod, you can get the sword beams to count as fire rod shots. And well, there's the moon pearl from Lamolas. Now have parkour access.
As expected. So we have the final location. We have Dark World access. I can imagine AaronDobbe is going to probably. Oh no! Okay, no, he's going to flute away. I almost expected him to go into that mire shed because he had to flute. He had to mirror from there anyway.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to stunt him too long. The mire shed is a very common place that runners check, so we can kind of keep our fingers crossed. I don't think it's going to be too panic basket right now on that.
Yeah, and depending on what medallion we need for Tartarok, we might have everything we need to beat every single crystal except for Eastern and Pod already.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's interesting. Normally you don't have that many options when you get to the Dark World.
Yeah, the only thing that's other than Turtle Rock being the one in question as well, that's definitely the case because of the pendant. We do not know if hookshot is needed for Ice Palace. Granted, you can sequence break as far as bomb jumps is concerned, but without the knowledge of what that first chest is or the actual logic of Ice Palace right now, hookshot still may be required for that.
Yeah, and one thing that could be a little bit unfortunate, possibly for AaronDobbe, since they didn't check that mire shed when they had such a good opportunity to do it after Desert, like it might be a while before they go back there, because like you don't want to head over to Mire until you have the King of Samaria, right? But the King of Samaria is right next to Mire.
That's something that is rough, but you're also going to try and route Mire and Turtle Rock to be one of the last two dungeons that you do, and they're not going to need Kane until then. So that's, even if it is one of the last locations they check, I can see it being routed in like, okay, let's go over to this spot since it's over there anyway. It's a quick check. So I don't think it's going to bother them too much. And there's no dark rooms that they really have to be concerned about until they find Bow, which would be Pod. And Pod dark rooms aren't hard if you have the Fire Rod. You can get through that back dark room that usually messes with people pretty easily with that. So
yeah, so both doing the same checks here, going into Outcast and checking Thieves Town as well. Makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of items in this area, and I mean, doing Thieves Town is not really a time save to do it in Go mode, because you kind of have to walk by every single chest anyway, so...
Yeah, you have to do the whole dungeon because you have to open up the ceiling. You got to do all of it. So
yeah,
not
so
much
it's
to
one of those dungeons that's just it's a very easy dungeon to decide to full clear first.
It's one of those dungeons that you just I mean I think runners learn it over and over again, no matter if it's pendant, if it's crystal, you just do thieves. There's very few requirements for it. The only thing that you really you don't want to go into thieves usually without the hammer, but at the same time that small key can be locked in that chest. So you're not too concerned, but if you go in there and you end up isolating that location, then it's like, great, Thieves Town, big chest. Last thing you want to do is leave that just out there. So far though, there's only one more location that can have that small key, other than the big chest, and that's Maiden's chest. So if it ends up being there, they'll still be able to check it. And Thieves Town is pretty empty as far as progression is concerned. We're looking for hookshot. We're looking for bow. We are looking for, that's it, maybe another medallion.
Yeah, and one of those medallions is on the torch in desert, so we might need boots if Quake is required for Tetra.
Very true. I forgot Quake was actually on that torch in desert. So desert might be doubly required in the fact that it requires you to come back with boots to get that medallion for Turtle Rock. Okay, so it was a small key. I'm gonna get the big key chest check right now.
And the reason why blind can't have the small key is the logic will always assume that you're doing the worst possible checks with the keys. So in case you decide to grab that small key that you used to get up to bomb the ceiling and just go downstairs instead, well, if blind has the small key, you won't be able to get that key to get up to the ceiling and bomb it, and you can never defeat blind. And that way you would have to keylock yourself.
Yeah, so you create a potential soft lock by doing that. So they fixed that by making it to where pretty much any chest before the ceiling and also the chest that is over there on the Maiden's side. Because if I'm not mistaken, you can technically go down, grab the Maiden, and bring the Maiden all the way up to the top if you wanted to. It's just not efficient.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where you're basically crossing paths over and over again. So, blind is down. We have now got our second crystal and one pendant. We are literally at the point where there was nothing there. So, I can imagine they might do a couple other checks. Numberplay is most likely going to do the frog sequence. I can imagine Aaron is heading over to get Hype Cave. I don't think we've seen that on either end yet, have we?
No, none of the runners has checked Hype Cave at this point, and yeah, it's gonna be interesting with so much available. We have a lot of possibility for route divergence, and
yeah,
we'll see how much of the overworld they decide to shake. Because at this point, there's definitely a logic to going from dungeon to dungeon as well, just in case. Because that's something you're gonna have to do anyways. And if your dungeon or Hype Cave has your required item,
wow, that's hype.
This is interesting.
So, how long does Numberplay put off Hype Cave?
Probably not too long. But at this point, oh, this is interesting. We can beat all of the crystals now, depending on what the medallion is, that is, on Tetra.
Numberplay could if he had that bow.
No,
Aaron needs to
yeah.
go to the Smire Shed and do that.
That's true. That's true. Numberplay will probably not skip Hype Cave, but AaronDobbe I'm a little bit more concerned about because with so many options, it might take a while to get back there.
Hype Cave is a common check whenever you turn in Frog and do that whole sequence after you get the chest. You drop the chest off and go check it. So his checking Hype Cave is a lot more possible. He is going to go north, though. And I guess he's going to do the Graveyard Cave, Graveyard Ledge, and check the... Is he going to just do Graveyard Ledge along with this? Or just check the... yeah. Okay. He's going to check Lumberjack Cave. I forgot he didn't do that. So Aaron's going to be doing the sequence breaking of Pod with the pretty much doing what we discussed. It's going to be pretty easy to do the dark rooms with the fire rod. The only thing that's kind of iffy is the dark maze, but if you have a map open, it's not too difficult.
Yeah, so we know that everything in Pod isn't logic at this point. AaronDobbe doesn't know that, but I mean, yeah, generally you want to just skip the lamp logic as much as possible because the lamp can be in some pretty stupid places sometimes.
Yeah, like the Mire Shed with the Moon Pearl being on Pendant Landmoss.
Yeah.
I would qualify that as a pretty stupid location, and Pod ends up being Bowlock, so good thing that they waited to dive that. Oh wow!
Oh boy, that means this. As soon as Numberplay goes to Hype Cave, I would imagine that if you just go straight up to Turtle Rock to see what medallion that is, because if it's Ether, I will put them in go mode already, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, 47 minutes. We are at potential no mode. That's man, the routing divergences. He's heading back to Village of Outcast. I can imagine he's gonna grab the blacksmith doing Jeremiah the Bullfrog. That's pretty much the only thing over here. He's probably gonna go do the digging game first. Check peg caves and do this little sequence. But once he hits Hype Cave with that chest, he might just nope out and be like, let's go find the medallion, or let's go check what the medallion is and get out of here.
Yeah, for sure. And that's something that the Titansmiths and the Mirror, it gives you the possibility to do very efficient routing, so you can get all of the overworld things in one single go. There's a tempered on the first digging game. I would call that a pretty good digging game.
Almost optimal, yeah. I mean, couldn't really ask for a better weapon than what you have right now. Gold Sword doesn't really make much of a difference at this point, so the only thing that they're really missing as far as defense and everything is concerned is maybe an armor upgrade, but they're almost at second row of hearts. They're almost at 11 hearts. Once you get to about 12, 13 hearts, that puts you at about NMG speed, and most runners are comfortable with about 13 hearts, even in green mail, so. But that doesn't change certain enemies from hurting still a whole bunch.
Yeah, for sure. Especially the later dungeons can hurt a lot when you're in green mail, but
specifically those chain chomps. Those chain chomps are not nice in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, for sure. Or Ganon Hug. That's never fun.
Or Ganon Firebat even, man. And with green mail, Ganon Firebats hurt too. They do the chain chop damage. They do 4 hearts of damage.
Yeah.
Isn't it something like 6 or 8 for a Ganon Hug?
I think it's 8. I'm not certain, but I'm pretty sure it's 8.
Yeah, I mean that's not exactly a tickle, man. That's a spear in your side. That's pretty rude. we're pretty much in the know that Pod's going to come up empty, other than maybe Bombos.
Yeah, Bombos or maybe Boots. That's if you're rooting for AaronDobbe right now, you're hoping to see one of those there.
Yeah, honestly, Boots here and Pod would be big. That would actually be another tilt on the side of, oh wow, each runner has found something. Numberplay is going to get his bow. There's no doubt in my mind, because that's just a common route. So he'll grab the bow from Hype Cave. What he does after that, if he finds Bombos or the Boots, if he continues, and let's say does like the well, I say continues. There's really nowhere to continue to. He doesn't have the book. So
yeah, actually, now that I think about it, I think the Boots would be perfect for AaronDobbe to find, because that would lead them to shake Graveyard Ledge together with the bonk locations.
but it would take him further from Mire Ledge, or not Mire Ledge.
That's true. But it would give them an incentive to check Graveyard Ledge at the very least.
Now, Numberplay did not go do Hype Cave. He went straight to Gary over here, the mustachioed man.
Oh, okay. There's Bombos. That's good news for AaronDobbe at the very least, in case that's required. But it is in a crystal dungeon, so I mean, if Bombos is required, it's very likely that Numberplay will find it at some point.
Yeah, because now he's doing the Hype Cave. So he opted to do it a little bit in reverse. As a matter of fact, for these purposes, he's going to be able to route it pretty easily. He can just go right over to Pod and Eastern and do those pretty much right after this. I know he's happy to find that bow. And
yeah, I would imagine so.
He's also going to be able to do Pod a little bit easier too, because this particular section that Aaron's on, he can actually just drop a Tane spot there. It's going to be a little bit easier to be able to just go through there.
Mm-hmm. And Numberplay mirroring, yeah, he's probably heading straight up the Turtle Rock right now.
Yeah, not a bad move. Not a bad move, because then you can you can go search for other items if you need to, if it's Bombos or Quake, and you basically get a just knowledge advantage here. And we'll know if he's in go mode. So hold your breath, folks, because we'll find out here shortly. And Aaron's showing us the usefulness of knowing where the lamps are to be able to light them to go ahead and clear this room out. It makes it so much easier just to be able to do it.
Yeah, for sure. Torch is going out, but he already knew the location of the turtles, so it didn't become too much of a problem to get those down.
Shovel over there in Super Bunny Cave. So Shovel could hold our answer. Very possible Boots could be there if this is a Quake medallion. And we still don't know where the Ganon's Tower Big Key is. What is it today? It's Quake.
Oh, so Boots required.
Boots on Helmasaur, maybe? Boots on Helmasaur?
Maybe.
Tilt it for us. No, okay, I didn't count. I didn't count. So.
Yeah, me neither.
Let's hope.
Yeah, so
I'm hoping the Boots are not in Hookshot Cave. Buttered Sword, wow.
Buttered Sword, well, that's sure is something.
Okay, so he's got to find. He knows where Quake is, so he's got the knowledge of what he needs and where he needs to get it from. But those Boots could be Those boots could be anywhere, man. They
Yeah.
could be on pedestal. They could be in Ice Palace. They could be in Mire. They could be in Skull Woods. Because I think we only found one of those. They could be here even. And Spike Cave.
Yeah. And that also means that this doesn't have to happen too often, but our runners will triple dip a pendant desert, which is not super common. They could have double dipped it by going to Sahasrara first, I guess, but
it's not very often you hear the words triple dip and desert in the same sentence. That's just weird to say triple dip desert. Like, usually double dip is possible because of boots locked, but triple dip? Wow. So as far as dungeon advantage goes, Aaron has that, but item advantage, Numberplay has the ability to just start clearing dungeons and going through and making short work of them. Going to be checking this shovel spot, just kind of getting these one-of locations, making sure what's going on. And if the boots are here in this dig spot, that's just huge information, and that'll put Numberplay in go mode. Nope. So boots on Ped still alive. I mean, other options for the people in chat who want it to be trolly. The book could be on pedestal. So no checking of Ped. You have to blind pull it, and that could lead to boots on one of the tablets. So there's a lot of options here of what could be more painful for these runners. In particular, Numberplay. They could be in vanilla location. You got to go beat Moth, go in and grab the green pendant, and then come back to Sahasrara to turn it in. So where is Aaron going to be heading from here? Hopefully Mire Shed. He is going to 4. Are you going to Swamp? Why would you go to Swamp? That's an interesting play, Aaron. That's gutsy. That's a very gutsy play. Because if he's going to Swamp, that means he's going to be doing this. No. Okay. Wait. He has the Fat Fairy. Okay. Yeah, that's a good check. It's technically sequence broke. So he knows he's not going to find the lamp here. That's obvious. Really, everything is in logic right now as far as Numberplay is concerned, so he's got everything he needs. Boots could be here, and that would be a big find for Aaron. The only thing about that is finding the boots is going to lead him to other locations. He needs to get to Mire Shed to really put himself back on top in terms of how far ahead he is. Catfish has not been checked. Zora has been. We know everything over there, but Catfish, we've not walked over there. This is our first pyramid check as well. So all of this is fresh information. Big 20 over on Pyramid. Does the Fat Fairy hold something important today, and does he throw in a bottle to possibly fill that up? Nothing at all in the Fat Fairy location.
yeah.
So where does he head from here? Like, he's going to Ice Palace.
Yeah, it looks like it.
So if the boots aren't here, we know he's not going to find a hook shot here. This is an interesting play.
Yeah, and one thing that's going to be interesting as well is if he knows the logic of Ice Palace, he can determine if this is hookshot locked or not, which is important because that will rule out Ganon's tower in case this is required to have the hookshot.
Yeah, so he'll know it'll be somewhere that he hasn't already checked. In the light world, obviously. I realized how redundant that statement was once I said it. Man, I hate being an ice palace with Master Sword. It's so bad having to kill these penguins.
Yeah, they're definitely a bit annoying.
So we now know that this is not a hookshot locked dungeon. That first chest being a key means that the hookshot realistically could be anywhere in here, as well as can now be in Ganon's tower. But as far as being a runner, sometimes you don't even think about that. You don't think about worst case scenario. You just think, where do I go next? As you're doing one spot, you think, where do I go next?
Yeah, for sure. Like, on the fly as well. Like, playing and thinking is not always as easy as it sounds.
Yeah, and a matter of fact, I believe in the case that the key is in that first chest, chat makes a good point. I think it is Samaria locked, because this is a sequence break doing this bomb job. So I think by logic, oh man, he is on one heart.
Well, as long as they find another small key, it's not locked by the King of Samaria.
Okay. Yeah, because of that side key. That's right, that side key door.
Yeah, doing the bomb strats in this room is also annoying when you don't have the boots.
That was very that was gutsy, doing the bomb strats with 2 hearts and the pin gators coming right for your face. And going in and tanking spikes too.
Yeah, he does have the powder, so he can refill his health at a couple of different locations. This is one of them. And yeah, doing it. Also, making sure to powder before lifting up the rock, because you can do that with the bunny beams if they're under pots or rocks.
Yeah, and only when they're still. If they start moving, you cannot powder them. They are not powderable if they are in motion.
So this is the last crystal that AaronDobbe can complete at the moment. So it's gonna be interesting to see where they decide to go afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, I think unless he finds Boots, I feel like Boots will send him to get his hook shot. But otherwise, you're kind of, I mean, on a whim, you could go check the back of Graveyard, do the Graveyard Ledge. That's not a bad idea. But at the same time, you're kind of like, where else am I going to go? I haven't checked Meyer's shed. Let's go to Meyer. Because the whole thing is, you're kind of expecting something to be there. So he's got to get the hook shot or the boots to get into Meyer to actually cross that gap in the first place. So we're looking for that. Yeah, I was about to say that was a little bit close. Not going to be able to capture that fairy today. Yeah, and the other spot that you can, there's one here too that you can get a couple other fairies, like anti-fairies in here. There are fairies actually in a room in Ice Palace as well. Those holes that are on the left and right in that room with those jellies, you fall down and you fall into one of the giant pots and it takes you to a fairy room. I believe that was the last item.
Yeah, I think so as well. I'm not 100% certain, but at the very least, that's the last check they can do before going to coaster anyway. So
yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the last item available to us. So Ice Palace is just pretty much dud. Maybe he hasn't checked the big
Oh,
chest yet.
yeah, you didn't do the big shots. That's right.
This bomb jump's not entirely easy.
Well, if you, taking a fall, that's unfortunate because without the hook shot, that's the only way to. You have to bomb the floor on the other side, so that's unfortunate. But they decide to just go for culture instead.
Numberplay missed the quick kill of that Salphos room, and that's always annoying when it happens, and you're like, well, now I have to go kill these other ones. And sometimes you can actually do a really good quick kill with a fire rod. If you do the typical thing, grab the pot, come around, throw it to the right, you can actually fire rod shot to the left and kill that left Stalfos pretty quickly.
Yeah, and a good start here for AaronDobbe on the coaster fight. Oof, taking a few hits though, so it's gonna have to be a little bit careful now. Because yeah, they can't. Oh no! Ah, that's so unfortunate, especially in Ice Palace to take a death because it's such a long way to get back.
Yeah, I mean, it's just aggravating to have to get back, even with Ice Palace bomb jump. It's like you run out of options. You got to farm magic. It's just a pain in the butt. So he's gonna go get some potions. He's got enough rupees to go ahead and do that. And meanwhile, Numberplay is on the hunt for the boots to be able to go into go mode to go grab his Quake medallion. Getting his kill on the Armos Knights, pretty much putting himself equal now on the dungeon clears to Aaron, but Aaron does have knowledge about Ice Palace. He's going to have to go back in and pretty much grab that big chest and go kill Cold Stare, so he's going to be able to get the knowledge on that, at least. Numberplay probably is going to be going to do the same play that Aaron did, checking the Fat Fairy. Where he goes from there, I'll be interested to see. I wouldn't be surprised if he'd make some Mire Dip after that, because you can full clear that dungeon.
Yeah, for sure. That's a very viable strategy to do right now. You have both Ice Palace and Mire to choose between by the crystal dungeons you can complete, and well, Mire a lot of the times is not super fast in go mode because you do have to find a big key first.
It's the mix between the two. It's like the fastest go mode, but the longest go mode depending on where that key's at. Because if you're go moding that dungeon and you don't want to find any items, the key being in that first location on that bridge is perfect. You literally can just grab it and go.
Yeah, for sure. If you get the big key, one of the first two locations, it's gonna be a very fast go.
But all too often it's vanilla spot, and that requires a cutscene and all that stuff, all that long drawn out coffee break process. So Numberplay's gonna go check Catfish after Fat Fairy, which is a pretty good play, because it's an out of the way location and he's already done his Zora check, so there's nothing else that he's gonna check over here.
Yeah.
And Aaron still hasn't gone to the digging game to check and get his tempered sword.
Yeah, he has a lot of overworld location that Numberplay hasn't really checked at the moment to choose between after finishing Ice Palace.
Yeah, and yet Numberplay has actually checked the right locations, and the fact that he's gotten hook shot from the graveyard ledge, just also going to the Mire Shed out of sequence by doing the Super Bunny glitch. Oh man, so much stuff available, and that he found at such a perfect time. So Aaron's gonna go ahead and fill up on that anti-fairy right there. Good spot to grab it. Another quick spot to grab it from is over there on that right-hand side on that key. There's actually a bunny beam over there. A little hard to get to if the because of the way you enter by doing the bomb jump. The bunny beam will already be ready to attack you, so you have to run over there really fast. You may get hit by the bunny beam if you're not careful.
Yeah, and Numberplay making the play here on Meyer.
Is he setting it up?
It looks like it. Looks like we might see a bird, frozen bird fly.
Numberplay with the memes. He is a man of the people. Nothing but a bomb upgrade on Cold Stare. Got our fifth, I can count, I swear. Fifth crystal, sixth boss kill. Aaron's gotta go to Meyer, man. That's gotta be the play. I can't imagine him trying to go anywhere else.
Well, he has a lot of other. Actually, he can't even enter Meyer at this point because he needs the hookshot first.
It's that Meyer Shed. You gotta check the Meyer Shed. It's like it's
Yeah,
the
it
easiest
looks like
spot.
Looks like he's doing it. So that's good. He's gonna get that Kinos Mario, but he will still be looking for hookshot.
Yeah, he's gonna be on the hunt for hookshot. And as far as he knows, that's his go mode item. After finding this, so I was actually theorizing where the boots could be. It's very realistic that the boots could actually be not only on pedestal, but maybe even the book on pedestal leading to the books on one of the tablets.
Yeah, that could be a thing.
So where Aaron heads from here is a big choice. He's gonna go do.
Yeah, he's thinking about Turtle Rock at this point. He has 2 medallions. It's in his point of view quite likely that he can full clear Turtle Rock, but he's gonna find out that that's not the case. But he will get his sword upgrade in the process at the very least.
No, he will not.
Oh, right, because he does have the hook shot. Oh, yeah, I forgot that. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, he'll probably get it sooner or later. I can imagine.
Yeah.
I can imagine him doing the frog sequence. It's the cave above the grave is a.
And there's the boots in Meyer.
Oh no. Oh
puts
man.
Numberplay in go mode. It's gonna be very fast to get that Quake after finishing up Meyer.
Yeah, that's a huge So 113 and about 15 seconds. Numberplay's entered go mode. This seed has literally jetted its way, and I feel like, barring some sort of catastrophic failure here, Numberplay's going to end up pulling this out and getting a second win.
Yeah, he's definitely in the lead at this point. He's going to be able to go mode Ice Palace, which is a very fast dungeon to do in go mode. And well, then after that, it's only Turtle Rock left.
Yeah, and I mean, he's got Easy Street too. He's got golden sword, got the butter sword, got blue mail, got 13 hearts. He's got safety ability. Yeah, and really Aaron's on the lookout for boots as well. He needs the hook shot. He's going to have to go check the graveyard ledge, and that's tough spot. That's a tough spot.
Yeah, especially since AaronDobbe hasn't done any part of the Smith sequence, and now finding the shovel as well. Like that's gotta be a bit tempting. And that hookshot is in one of the more trolly locations, to be honest, that it could be at this point, because the hookshot is blocking the boots, and the hookshot is located in a place that you don't really want to go to until you have the boots.
Yeah, that's it's all. Oh, Numberplay's going to go for swag strats. He's going to actually try and do the new little trick here. Nah, okay. He missed the strat, I think. I've never personally set that up, or actually, I've seen it done successfully. Can't explain it for the life of me.
Yeah, I haven't gone too much into researching how to do that quite yet, so I'm not the one to ask about that glitch.
Yeah, I understand it's got something to do with the way it reads items on the screen, such like the duck and stuff like that, how it creates depth. So by throwing the Samaria block into the hole, it is basically creating a location for the fire to be. So you're moving the fire to be in the location that it is hitting the switch. So it's a definitely an interesting little glitch for sure. So Numberplay getting his 5th crystal. Successful counting this time.
Yeah, and so AaronDobbe doing Skullwoods here. Might decide to check Bumper Cave afterwards, because we're very close by to it. And at that point, it's not very far from Graveyard Ledge, so maybe that's a possibility we have coming up soon.
That is definitely a hope. That's something that could be a real. I hope that happens. I hope he does that. That would be fortunate and good for our end to root him on. But it's also just as realistic that he gets that green pendant and goes straight to Sahasrahla.
Yeah, for sure. That's one of the unfortunate things with having so many options, that you can't really decide what to do. Like, you have so many options, so why would you choose just that one?
Yep. Yeah, it's a lot of times too, it's easy to watch and be a viewer, and even having run these seeds and knowing how they work, to be like, well, that's not the play I would have made. It's very easy to look at that and go, yeah, okay, he needs to go here, especially when you have 2 players on the screen doing 2 very different things. None of the choices that Aaron has made have been wrong. Numberplay did a huge sequence break in the fact of doing Super Bunny Glitch, getting the cane a lot earlier, and it just so happened that Number also did some really good routing choices when it came to checking Graveyard Ledge way earlier. It could have just been a hunt for the hook shot at this point. Graveyard Ledge was checked without checking King's Tomb or Bonk Rocks, because couldn't do that without boots. So it's it's nice to know that Aaron will possibly find it soon if he goes out of here and checks the Bumper Cave, and then goes over to Graveyard Ledge, hoping that maybe, okay, what if the boots are there? Just kind of thinking about what items could be there. I just hope he doesn't go directly to Sahasrahla. That would be very unfortunate. Numberplay is about to be doing his Ice Palace bomb jump, having a little bit of trouble with spikes, as is Aaron over here with the moth.
Yeah, still in green mail on, and also having that master sword. not the most fun fight, but there's Mothula goes down.
My least favorite things about fighting Moth is it always feels like his last hit doesn't come until after you use a blue potion.
Yeah, something like that, or if you're like one hit away from dying and you use a potion and then you don't get hit a single more time before you beat him.
Yes. You get bodied so many times and like going back and forth with him, back and forth, and he keeps sticking himself right over the spikes. You use your potion and then you dodge, and he dies, and you're just like, oh my lord, why did I waste? Okay, so where Aaron goes after here, he is walking out. So
that's a good sign.
That's a very good sign. That's actually okay. The big key chest. I thought they found 2 items, but he's gonna check the big chest here. We know it's not going to be anything of importance. The worst case scenario, it could be book. Best case scenario, it's something like that. All right, Aaron. He's mirroring. Oh, he's okay. He is going to check Sahashwal right away.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but it's also understandable.
Very, very. You just got the green pendant. You're reading the seed. I can't blame him at all.
Yeah, like going over to Sahashwal right now, it's a way to just like you did Skullwoods, you got nothing, but you did get the green pendant, so maybe Skullwoods wasn't for nothing after all. So let's find out. That was a close call by Numberplay, but a very nice finish on Colster.
So AaronDobbe is probably going to be doing his sequence over here with the blacksmith, otherwise known as Jeremiah the Bullfrog. Numberplay is going to be heading up to Turtle Rock, getting his final crystal. Aaron just needs to check the graveyard ledge. Because if Aaron checks the graveyard ledge, he can get his hook shot. And pretty much, he never checked Seed House. Huh.
That's interesting. Yeah, I think the thing that decided the big difference in this race so far was the Numberplay was very keen to not skip anything, just do efficient overworld routing, so they don't like isolate a lot of places. And AaronDobbe dived all the dungeons as soon as possible, and both are valid strategies. The only unfortunate thing about dungeon diving like that is once you're done with the dungeons, you have so many options to choose between.
Yeah, and then doing the overworld locations too, it happens on rare occasions where you suddenly find yourself, okay, I can go dive certain dungeons. You end up in the locations of I can't complete anything, but there's so many things that I have options of what's available. So things like diving Eastern Palace without the bow become more viable. Desert Palace without the boots, Hera without a fire source, Thieves Town without the hammer, stuff like that. These dungeons that you can go into without any contingencies and not having to have so many items, but leaving one of. Oh man, the book right there, the first item in Turtle Rock. Probably a fortunate thing that the hookshot's blocking the boots, because that would be really bad to be in Turtle Rock, getting that book, needing to go mode, and expecting something to be out there. So Aaron opting to leave that heart there as well. So did Numberplay. So pretty much figuring 12 hearts is enough. All right, Numberplay does have the option to go ahead and skip the vanilla big key chest here. So
Yeah,
probably
that's... Oh.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Yeah, that's always nice. That gives you the pretty good possibility of maybe being able to skip Laser Bridge.
Yeah, that's big because Laser Bridge is annoying. Especially even having to do laser skips. You don't have. Well, no, I take that back. He does have something. He's got both safety items there, so that's not that big a deal. Oh no! Numberplay is close. This is the room we were talking about.
Yeah, and this is even with blue mail. Like the change jumps, they don't play nicely.
Yeah, they don't tickle. They like to grab hold and bite hard. They are real pains. They can hit for 4 hearts without blue mail. When you're on green mail, blue mail is they still do 3 hearts. So AaronDobbe is going to be fluting on over. I can imagine a spot that he might be tempted to go. Pendant Swamp. Even without the hook shot, it's something that might be in the back of his mind.
Yeah, it might be, but yeah, that's a tough call to make.
Oh, he's gonna do it. He is going Pendant Swamp. I can't imagine where else he would be going walking up here.
Yeah, it definitely seems like it.
Yeah, fortunately, it's not going to lead to anything. There's absolutely nothing in Swamp. He's going to have to waste time in left side, but it's not helping his time at all. So he's going to be moving further and further behind. But meanwhile, Numberplay is about to be finding out if he can skip Laser Bridge. He cannot. So Laser Bridge is going to have to be done for 1 key. So yeah, fortunately on our knowledge end, we know that the book was in that first chest over here in Turtle Rock. So that's good news for Aaron.
Yeah.
I'm glad that he's not going to get baited into anything.
Yeah, and if you thought that left side is annoying to do, well, left side without the hook shot is even worse.
Yeah, it's just slower. I mean, it's bad because it's slower, but he's not going to get you baited into anything. He's going to have to get pigeonholed into it sooner or later, but every second that he takes further from going to the graveyard ledge is, further seconds away from actually getting to where Numberplay is at, because Numberplay is heading into his final and 7th fight, and this is going to be pretty doggone fast because it is Gold Sword and it is 3 hits per head, and you literally don't need to do much else. So,
yeah,
except for not miss with the fire rod. That's the only thing.
Seems like some good advice there. So you better don't guess quite yet, but better be ready to start guessing, because it's gonna be quite a short trip over to Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, so as soon as Numberplay hits this, boom. All right, that is his 7th crystal.
So yeah, Numberplay has 7 crystals. He will be going to Ganon's tower now, so it's time to guess which one of the 22 locations will the big key be in. And as soon as he enters, we will stop the big key guessing game. So get him in now if you wanna be part of this. And if you're a subscriber to any of the speed gaming channels or donated 250 bits, you will be able to be on the leaderboard if you're correct. So Numberplay, where do you think the big keys can be?
So my typical guess is 11. I like 11 because it's rando room, and it's either top left or bottom right by conventional means. But I'm guessing 10 this time because somebody in chat already guessed my 11, and I kind of want to get on the leaderboard.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
What about you, man? Where do you think it's going to be? Obviously not 1.
I don't know. But with how this race has been, I'm guessing it's on the left side at least, because that would make it hookshot luck.
Yeah. So torch, Bob be alive. So we have nothing on the torch. 3 is gone. We'll be coming up to 4, 5, 6, and 7 here shortly. Aaron finding out that it's just love on the left-hand side. He's going to go check one more chest and then be noping out of Swamp Palace. Number 4, number 5, absolutely nothing. Getting our first check of the stun prize. It is Vanilla. And Mirror Shield.
It's always funny when Laser Bridge is blocking the Mirror Shield.
Yeah. Because, I mean, I feel like it's all too often that the Mirror Shield is actually... Oh, great. And what does he find? He finds the big key over there on the left-hand side of Swamp. So, number 8 is the Firebar Room. Nothing there. At least give him the blue boomerang. Give him something for his troubles.
Yeah, the only thing that could activate AaronDobbe, the big key on the left side.
Alright, so number 9 is going to be the Fire Snake Room, or the Block Maze. I never know what to call this room. Okay, number 9 is down, so am I going to be right for once?
Well, wouldn't be surprised to see number 11 just because you put in number 10.
I know, right? It's just because. Just because. Alright, so number 10, first one, it is a piece of heart. I'm dead. Blue Boomerang, number 11. Blue Potion, number 12. Number 13 is absolutely nothing. So heading on over to the Vanilla location, we'll be getting Bob at 14, and then number 15 will be after Ice Armos, along with 16 and 17.
Yeah, and looks like I was wrong as well, even though I guessed like almost half the tower.
Yeah, the way the seed has gone, I mean, the seed hasn't really been that trolly, except for maybe the one location, which Aaron is actually heading towards. I can imagine he's going to go that way now. He doesn't really have any other options.
Yeah, I don't like. I think Spy Cave is like the only thing else he has to check.
And then where he goes after that, I hope he doesn't go up to Hookshot Cave thinking that's the option, since he can complete Mire.
Yeah, going into Mire first, I think seems like a more reasonable play because you're gonna have to finish Mire.
15, 16, 17 is down. That means we have 4 other locations and tile room left. So right side would have been the play, other than if it is tile room. Aaron at 134.09 is getting his hook shot. He will officially enter go mode once he gets his boots from Mire and mirrors over to Desert to get his Quake medallion. He is going to go to Hookshot Cave first. all in all, I mean, not a bad play. In this instance, you can complete the dungeon. Go to Meyer. He almost accidentally grabbed himself with the duck again. All right, so number 18. Number 19 is the big key. So number 19 is the correct guess. We will be calling that here in just a second. Boom. 21 got it. XCOM. GG to you. You're going to be on the leaderboard. And good luck catching up to some of those leaderboards, because 11 wins with Alpha Channel and Ravis 10. Good lord. That's just, that's a lot of watching of Rando. That's what that is.
Yeah, for sure.
But thank you very much for participating in the game. Thank you for supporting Speed Gaming with your 250 bits or your actual subscription to Speed Gaming. Always appreciated. And while we're here going and watching this gauntlet here, quick shout out to our tracker Vinyl Knight, doing a fantastic job keeping up with everything on the screen that you see as far as the tracking is concerned, making sure that you know all the items that our runners have. Shout out to all the Speed Gaming crew, doing a fantastic job rocking that out and making sure that everything is getting to you. Cyclone is handling a lot of this right now, as well as my co-com Walter. I always love commentating with you. I do appreciate you being here.
Yeah, and thank you to you as well.
Absolutely. I mean, last minute pickup there, man. You came in and swooped in there for a while. I was going to be by myself, by my lonesome.
Well, we can't have that happen, can we?
Yeah, I would have to start doing serenades and things like that, and I don't think these people want to hear me sing. But, I mean, honestly, though, we blinked, and Numberplay is already almost a lane mode 2. So he's making short work of this. Numberplay runs NMG, so he's very familiar with running this gauntlet and knowing what to do. So this is all, cakewalk for him.
Yeah, very nice Silvers fight there on Lambolas.
Yeah, so Aaron does have double butter. Yeah, he's dual wielding butter swords. Both of our runners have butter sword. It's kind of unusual that you see that. Usually the sword locations are in very odd locations that aren't checked by both runners. So Aaron finally heading to Meyer, so he's going to be getting his boots here soon. Pretty sizable amount of time behind Numberplay right now. But Numberplay is doing a fantastic job making short work of this gauntlet. I mean, it's almost like he's done this before.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he is in the brackets, so he should have, at the very least, have done this 7 times before.
And yes, Opie, that is yes, it was Vol'jin and Willard J. Bradley. Garfield is almost exclusively used by Willard, if that's the one you're looking for, and that should be on the YouTube. You might be able to find that, but usually they are published over there on the Speed Gaming YouTube channel. And it's definitely in a VOD here on Twitch, I'm sure. I do not remember which Speed Gaming actual place that was on, which Speed Gaming Twitch that was on. And Numberplay opting to skip that last chest. No big deal. There's literally nothing in there that could be of use.
Yeah, for sure. The only items that he doesn't have right now is we already know the locations, and Numberplay knows them as well. So, and none of them would be helpful against Ganon, anyways. Yeah,
this was actually a dang near a hundo seed, other than a 4th bottle. we know where every location is. That is something else. I'm interested to see how many locations on the credits is going to be.
Yeah, I mean, the way we saw this race, Numberplay definitely looked to be ahead most of the race, but they ended up clearing more or less everything in the overworld as well. So
they cleared. There's a few places they didn't clear. I mean, in the form of just spots they would never go anyway, like King's Tomb, Bonk Rocks, stuff like that, Boots Lock locations. But they didn't actually grab items when it came to the racing game, the one on the Lake Hylia Island, as well as the library. So a lot of locations were just not touched. So he'll probably be in the 180 area if I had to guess. But for the most part, pretty much hundo seat. All the items that you would track and everything that's on there is right there, including the bug net. We know where that was at too.
yeah, and started again a fight here with the Butter Sword. It's
a joke.
Yeah, more or less. It's very easy to get 1 cycles on Ganon. And AaronDobbe is now finding the boots. So they know what they have to do right now. They need to clear this and then get the Quake and just head up straight to Turtle Rock.
Yeah, Numberplay is already in phase 3. And quickly into phase 4. Phase 3 is the only one you can't really make go faster. You gotta wait for him to do his teleports. That's gonna be equal amongst the runners. Well, that was interesting.
Yeah, it sure was. Getting a nice double though on the first hit, and yeah, there's the 4th one. So Ganon is already down.
Numberplay kind of debated himself, thought he got the 3rd hit because there was an arrow stuck in the frozen Ganon. He pauses there for a second and was like, oh wait, that's not the end, and has to go back and recover. But super quick. Phase 4 there, and official SRTV time of 1:41.56. GG to Numberplay. Doing a very
for sure. Spam your GG since I have Numberplay. This was also his 2nd win in this matchup, so that does mean that Numberplay will advance to the next round of the brackets. Now, unfortunately, it also means that AaronDobbe is gonna have to leave us after this race, but at this point, half of the runners will be eliminated each week, so it's something that we all are gonna have to accept at some point.
Yeah, I mean, there has to be a winner, there has to be a loser. That's just the way brackets work. So Numberplay is ready to come in and do a quick interview here. I'm gonna go ahead and move him on over. Numberplay, GG, sir. Definitely great showing.
Thank you. Oh my god, that seat was super nice.
It really was, man. And not only was it nice, you just happened to have the clairvoyance of going right to where every item was.
Well, I did full clear pod, but I can deal with that.
And thank you, Numberplay, for 7 months in a row subscribing to Speed Gaming, giving himself a GG Kappa. But yeah, you went and decided to go do the Graveyard Ledge and find that hook shot and do this. Dude, the sequence break into the Mire Shed was probably a moment of jaw drop, like, what? That just happened.
Yeah, and that was, even though I had the lamp at the time, I did skip doing land mola because I thought the fire rod wasn't logic, and it actually was.
It's funny that you say that. I actually did mention that Fire Rod possibly could be lamp locked, but we knew that the Moon Pearl had to be somewhere close by, that it couldn't be too far away in some way, shape, or form, that we still haven't gone to Sutashwala, that it very well could be there. So there's a lot of places that it could be, but just so happened to be that, yeah, okay. So the Fire Rod was right there locking your access to the lamp. So Just everything fell right into your lap, and no debated, no, hey, possibly go here. Like the book was the first chest in Turtle Rock that you couldn't even get to without completing Mire anyway. And like, just it ended up working out that way. So I, getting your second win and moving on. I mean, hey man, GG, making short work of that gauntlet too.
The most interesting thing here was when I had the bow, I knew I could have been in go mode. I had to go check Turtle Rock straight away.
Yeah, and that is definitely a reasonable call at that point. If Turtle was Ether, that would have put you in go mode for sure. That would have been a very fast go mode if that was the case.
But now that I see that it wasn't, it was Quake there, that actually put me to find the last sword and a mail upgrade in Spike Cave.
Yeah, we were. We were talking go mode at like 45 minutes. So, the last part of it wasn't really. It was kind of the terrarium. Oh wow! So it was a bottle on the pedestal. Okay.
Yeah, the last possible item that we didn't know where it was.
I'm still missing half magic.
Oh yeah, right, half magic.
I always forget half magic's a thing until until somebody tells me better. I see it come up on screen. Yeah, I wonder if that was tile room or something like that, or maybe big Ganon's tower.
No,
big
no,
chest.
yeah, that room was definitely a small key. Because we could have been key locked if that wasn't the case.
Honestly, you would know better than me. I'm not even gonna lie. So you were running it, and you pretty much had to do all of Ganon's towers. So
yeah, I had only one small key left when I went on right side. So if I use that key in the middle door,
you would have had to do tile room. Oh man.
Yeah, I would have had to do tile room. So I knew it was a small key.
Oh man, that's wow. That's. And you didn't check any chests on the way up, though. So that could have been just in Ganon's tower. But I'm interested to see what your item check was count, because I have a feeling it's going to be in the 170s or 180s. Easy.
Well, I can tell you that I know right now, but I'm going to keep it secret.
Yeah. We want a little bit of excitement on the stream. Come on now. But I feel like to me, it feels like it was high because we have every item and everything fell into place, and it was very, quick, go, do this, do this, do this, do this. The seed wasn't mean in the fact that it told you where to go. There was no real question. You did have to go to quite a few places in the beginning to find the moon pearl, but it was pretty much there. This was one of the few times, though. How often do you hear the words triple dip and desert in the same sentence?
Oh my god, never.
Yeah. So literally, I had to triple dip desert because you had to go back and get Quake.
Yeah, double dipping desert is not so bad, but I did skip the boss, so yeah, that ended up being a triple dip.
And if Aaron had to do the same thing, Aaron ended up going in and doing the same checks. He didn't have fire rod, so.
And I bet he didn't get the lamp as well.
Yeah, he didn't do the same sequence break you did, so he had to go back. Basically, he didn't do Mire Shed until quite some time after. So he had to pretty much set that off until the last thing. So he did Mire Shed, found out where the cane was, checked a few other locations. He actually did some of Swamp Palace to try and find the hook shot. So he ended up doing left side swamp and stuff like that. Finally went to the back.
I managed to completely skip the other two pendant dungeons, so I'm quite happy about that.
Yeah, but it's okay. You made up for the fact that you didn't go into the other pendant dungeons by going into Desert Palace 3 times. So we did have 3 pendant dungeon actual go-ins, so you made up for it.
I do have a question though. Can the boots be on pedestal even if desert is a pendant?
It should. Yeah, it should be.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah, it's absolutely possible because the logic does take into account for an item being on that torch. You can do the dungeon and complete the dungeon by logic, and boots still be on pedestal. So it accounts because if you think about it, this logic actually accounted for you to have to beat Landmalice to go get the boots anyway, to come back and get Quake to finish the dungeon.
Oh,
to finish everything.
That's
So,
true.
yeah. So I mean, like, it's very possible for it to be.
So a 156 collection rate.
I never would have guessed that. Never would have guessed that.
Well, it's been popping up on my stream for 15 minutes now on my OBS.
Wow, man, 156 collection rate. I never would have guessed that.
It's really low.
That's
Yeah.
really, considering that you had to do.
Oh, there's Alt Magic.
Yeah, half magic was in the big chest of Turtle Rock, so.
Oh man, I'm just sitting here trying to think what locations that were like big locations that you ended up skipping. There really weren't
Well,
many.
We had Swamp Palace for one. That's 10 locations. We had a lot of locations that we saw the item, but we never actually picked it up.
So yeah, Swamp Palace and Skullwoods, because he didn't check any of those locations really at all. So because it's not only accounting for the item locations, it still accounts for the no, that's just items itself. That's what the collection rate. It's 216 items in full.
I also go mode Ice and Turtle Rock.
Yeah, so you didn't check all those, and you stopped at the second possible key on, or the second possible location on Laser Bridge, what he's on right now, which I just for some reason blanked on.
Yeah, the second chest was a key, so I did skip the last two.
Don't get trolled by the little Helmasaur. Oh man, so I mean, any thoughts about the seed, man? Any comments, anything that you want to say to the fans?
I'm just glad I got to play such a good seed. I truly enjoyed that seed. It was so nice.
It's been a good minute since I've seen a nice standard seed. After going through the Swiss matches, it seems like every seed was just a pain. And just like we saw before with Numberplay, this is going to be a quick fight. 3 swings to each head on Trinex, and he will be down.
Yeah, AaronDobbe also having. It took him quite a while before he actually found Temper Sword, because they decided to skip a lot of the overworld early on and just go for the dungeons instead.
Yeah, that was the major difference, and y'all actually had almost exclusive routing. The way y'all went, it was very interesting to see. We had a lot of knowledge. We were pretty much in no mode, like by an hour. So. All right, so Aaron is going to be heading into Ganon's Tower right now. If he decides to go right-hand side, it will be a quicker Ganon's Tower for him. But honestly, most people do the left bid. They check the first 2 right chests and then go left. Every once in a while, you'll see a couple different strats like Dark Magician, where you check the first the torch in the first 4 chests on the left and then go right. Or some people will actually just stay right if they get a key on the right-hand side.
Yeah, I actually don't remember if we had a small key in one of the first 2 chests on the right side.
There was.
Okay.
I remember, because that was one of the things that I was thinking for Numberplay. That's actually a question I was going to ask. Did you think about going right side, or do you just always stick to left side, or do you want to keep that silent, and just in case if your next opponents watching.
Oh, I have no secret there. I always go left side first.
Just a preference thing, or do you have like some sort of mathematical reason, or?
Yeah, it's mostly math.
Yeah, I've noticed that on certain versions the math of it seems to change. Like with this version, I've noticed that Dark Magician actually tends to pay off. I don't know, and not only just doing Dark Magician, like doing these and then going right, but going all the way to Ice Armos and doing it that way, because you can quickly.
I once did a Dark Magician strat and got 22
Oh,
that way. And it wasn't tile room. It was in the rando room.
Oh man, that's rough. That'll probably turn you off of anything.
So yeah, I'm not doing Dark Magician since then.
I can't blame you. There's a reason why I don't do right side. It's because I've been burnt on it so many times. Every time I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna do bright side this time. Nope, no, not gonna be worth it. So. All right, and he's on his search. Going to be going all the way to Ice Armos and having to come right back out and doing the right hand side. I wonder if he bids to do tile room first. That's always something that's interesting to see if they decide to stop at tile room before they head to those far right. Nobody wants to do it; it just takes too much time.
Yeah, it's also a lot of like one of the reasons why tile room is skipped for last is it's a pretty big time commitment to check one location, but it's also almost everyone agrees that we're gonna do that one last, so you don't have anything to lose by checking it last, because your opponent is probably gonna do that as well.
Yeah, doing a little bit of that metagaming of who's gonna do what is always a thing that people do. People always will metagame, considering who they're playing against. I can almost guarantee you that if any of the, like me, scrub tier runner, is going against somebody like Andy or, AA or one of these, top tier runners, I'm probably going to gamble more than I ever would. I'm going to be gambling left and right. No hook shot? Sure. Let's go check Swamp Palace. Oh, I don't even have the hammer? Yeah, there's one chest there. Let's check it. Not that that's how you should play. That's not what I'm saying. Man, you tend to play different whenever you know how your opponent plays. And for once, though, how about Zora actually having something worth the 500 rupees in the fact of silver arrows?
Those silver arrows were worth it.
Yes. It's not all too often that he actually has the worth of the cost you have to pay him.
I think I've seen everything on Zora. The only thing I think I never saw was his flippers, basically a vanilla Zora.
Yeah, I've seen my fair share of items on there too, from ice rod to something like a bottle to get the sick kid to get that leads to something.
I've seen all sort of keys as well in Key Sanity.
Oh man, Swamp Palace key, Ganon's Tower big key. Yeah, I've seen those too.
Ice Palace big key for me. I remember that.
And then it holds a very important item. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember a couple of the Key Sanity matches I commentated. One of them, the first chest in Swamp Palace without the Swamp Palace key, was the Cane of Samaria that led to the Swamp Palace key and Mire. And it was on Vitreous. Alright, so he's going to be grabbing his big key here shortly. And immediately.
Yeah, still needs a small key as well. There it is. Oh, actually, they could have stepped into the portal to get a small key, but I think they were guaranteed by the logic. To
yeah,
get a
you're
small
guaranteed
key
a
in
key
one of
on
those chests.
On the Masor.
So, you were saying that So he could have gone in the portal and grabbed a second key. So there's a third key somewhere that I'm not thinking of.
The tile room.
In the tile room, what key door would that lead to?
It's the middle one, connecting the left and the right.
Okay, yeah, I do remember that one. And then Helmasaur drops one as well. Okay, yeah, it is in tile room. Got it. That makes sense now. I had to go through it in my head actually opening the doors because it didn't make sense at first. Yeah, no reason to do red mail in library, net on raid game, powder on Lake Hylia, which oddly enough, Numberplay, you decided to grab the Cane of Burna. Aaron didn't grab the Cane of Burna, but grabbed the bug net, and he ended up trying to use it to get a couple fairies, and then took an unfortunate death in Ice Palace. So, like, it was interesting to see the safeties y'all decided to grab.
Well, it wasn't for the safety that I grabbed the King of Burna, but rather to unlock Spike Cave in case it was locking the cave or something like that.
Yeah, I figured that was the main reason for it. It wasn't safety-wise because you skipped over hearts, and once you got about 7 or 8 hearts, you started skipping over hearts altogether. Or at least ones that you had the option to skip over. Aaron's gonna get a 2 cycle of Land Mode 2 here.
Yeah, I tend to skip stuff that I know I won't need.
Oh yeah, that cuts down a lot of time over the series of items that you skip.
Yeah, for sure. Every time save that you can do is definitely worth doing, especially if you feel comfortable with items and gears that you have.
Aaron getting the 1 cycle Wizrobe 2. I love the Wizrobe rooms. After being able to do the trick with Canis Samaria, it feels so smooth and clean to do those.
I was a bit worried there because of my magic. I was really low at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And you didn't have any potions as well, right?
I did have a blue potion from the random room.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, even the seed was being nice and just saying, yeah, sure, here, have a potion, just in case.
But I know the second torch room has a small magic pot. I just forgot under which pot it was.
Alright, gonna be going into Troll Dorm number 2, Part Due, which, in all honesty, is relatively easy when it comes to having Gold Sword.
I think you spoke a little bit too soon there.
I'm
Yeah, it's not really Moldorm that you're fighting here. It's more the arena. That's the problem. Because if you ever played Randomizer before, you know that if you face Moldorm in a room where he can't knock you off, he's pretty much a joke at that point.
Yeah, he's literally nothing if you're in a relatively closed space. So something like Armos, those rooms are really easy. The only other room that I really hate facing him in is, even though there's nowhere to fall, Mothula. But I think in Randomizer, those spikes are actually off. They don't hurt you. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think it kind of depends on which boss you're fighting, but
they won't move.
They don't move. It's just, and doesn't the floor only move one direction? Oh, was that a triple or did that only count as a double?
I think that might have been a double.
Either way, even if the second portion of that only counted as a double hit, it's always nice and feels good to get all 3 of those direct back at Aga 2.
Oh, that was a double.
Yeah.
1, 2 to 1.
All in all, not a terrible Aga fight. He was relatively nice on this. He could have been way worse. Dropping right down. Going to be a quick Ganon fight. I don't think this is going to give him any trouble at all. When you have Butter Sword, a blue potion, and silver arrows, there's not much you need to worry about.
Yeah,
And half magic.
Ganon couldn't be easier.
Yeah, and really all you need is, I mean, you're pretty much overpowered for NMG standards, because you got 1 extra heart than you typically have in NMG, if I'm not mistaken. I think you only have 14 in NMG. But you do not have Mirror Shield, you do not have Butter Sword, and you don't have Silver Arrows.
Yeah, so that's phase 3. Only needs to get the silvers hits here. And almost doing the same thing that happened for you, Numberplay, where you hit Ganon twice, then got the torch glitch, hit him again, and then well, it was kind of odd because he hadn't teleported yet, so
Yeah,
you managed to hit him again, but it didn't count.
And I thought I had the triple there as well, which was really odd because I didn't.
But GG's to AaronDobbe finishing this up. More or less got the hook shot in the very last location, so it was a little bit unfortunate, but very well played.
Right. So his official SRTV time is 2:06:13. GG to AaronDobbe for finishing that out. Gonna get him on in here now for an interview as well. Once I do that. AaronDobbe, fantastic job finishing out that seed. GG to you, sir.
Hey, GG.
Yeah, sorry that this does, this brings the tournament life to an end, but honestly, the seed, I saw you say it in the SRTV chat, it just seemed like you had a couple options, and it just seemed like the wrong option just happened to be chose. I mean, it's unfortunate.
We had a very similar race one, where the ice road was in Turtle Rock and we could have access to it 1 hour in.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't actually help either that the location of the hook shot is just, that's not an easy location when you don't route it with the boots going to King's Tomb and Bonk Rocks and stuff like that. I mean, all in all, though, the seed itself was not the meanest seed, was relatively nice, but you did good work on it. You did good work. Your execution was actually really solid, I would say.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's a thing. I can't get too mad about it. It's just a matter of when was I going to make the right choice, and fortunately I had no reason to go there instead of anywhere else. So, and it just didn't end up playing out the way I wanted.
It does happen. I think all of us who have run any kind of rando understand that rando is a two-headed beast, and sometimes that second head can reach out and grab you and bite, and it's not fun. Any final thoughts or anything you'd like to say about the seed, or say for anybody watching out there, or anything like that?
So I want to say thank you, everyone who was watching the race, and thanks to all you guys for putting it on. Thanks to Numberplay for being a good opponent. Very well-deserved win. I hope to see you move on far in the brackets. Thanks to anyone who told people where the hookshot was in chat while I was looking for it.
Okay, best shout out ever, by the way. Props on the best shout out ever. And another shout out to everybody who was trying to call out what's on pedestal the entire seed too.
Thankfully, I don't open my chat during these races.
Oh man, we love you, chat. We love you, chat. It wouldn't be the same without you. Oh man. So I mean, in all honesty, that was an amazing race to watch. I mean, it could have gone very differently just depending on what was checked when, and it's always fun to watch these races. But Numberplay, GG going on to the next round. Good luck to you. I don't know if you already know who your opponent is or not. I don't know if those matches have already gone on.
I think it's Salty Fry.
Salty Fry. So keep your eyes peeled for Numberplay versus Salty Fry, to be determined. And Aaron, GG man, making it through Swiss. That's not a, that's no small feat in itself, making it through Swiss. There's a lot of people who didn't make it, and you managed to come into brackets. GG on that, man. That's definitely still an accomplishment in itself. So, but any final Aaron, or not Aaron, excuse me, Numberplay, I meant to ask.
GG to Aaron. He did a really good job with these races. I think he could have won both as well.
Yeah, especially that first one, man.
Yeah, I know you're a really good runner. I just got the better luck, I guess. The better calls, I mean.
I've personally watched both of you run plenty of times, and I will say that both of you are very good runners, and was always concerned if my name was ever in the same pool as yours to have to face either one. So definitely fun to watch every time. I've commentated on dailies with y'all. I've seen y'all run multiple seeds on dailies. I've talked to y'all in the Discords. Y'all are not in the slouch group of runners. So, but as we're waiting for this collection rate to show up, I'm actually very interested to know what your collection rate is, because Numberplay got 156 out of 216. I thought that was going to be in the 170s, 180s for sure. Without how many items we ended up getting total, and knowing about, because pretty much the tracker's filled out other than the last bottle being on PED, and we knew where everything was because of checking those locations. Because you actually picked up powder and picked up Bugnet.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't going to pass up Bugnet that early, and picking up powder was just like, all right, I should probably grab this before I do the rest of the Village of Outcasts, and then, hey, that led me to the bow.
Yeah, you actually had the bow way earlier than Numberplay, but that was you decided to jump out and go back to Link's house to go to the Hype Cave. Numberplay actually did the Super Bunny glitch to the Mire Shed, so he could have done the simple double dip into Desert Palace, but we had one of the rare sayings of how many times have you heard triple dip and desert in the same sentence? Like, never. Yeah, never have you heard that saying. That's just super odd. But if you think about it, it almost was not required by logic, but it was going to happen. You had to go get the fire source from Sahasrahla to come back and get the Moon Pearl off of the off Landmo. So chances are it was going to happen, but you wouldn't have come back without knowing what the actual medallion was for Turtle Rock. So you had to come back at least twice, even holding Desert off, until you had something to get there. Like, it was almost assured to happen. But your collection rate ended up being 175, 216, as I'm sure you know. You've been staring at that probably for quite some time. So 175 out of 216, that's about the collection rate that I expected to see. So,
yeah.
But that also happened with I actually do have a question for you, Aaron, before we go. Why Swamp Palace?
Ice One Palace. At that point, I felt like I was behind enough that I needed to do something I thought my opponent wasn't going to do.
Perfect
And,
sense.
yeah, that's all that was.
Makes perfect sense. I was curious if that was the case. Speculating what runners are thinking at the time is so difficult to do sometimes. I didn't know if you were like, well, maybe vanilla location is a real thing, right?
Mhm.
And you know, the gamble that didn't pay off is the thing that we are all too familiar with. So,
Yep.
but again, GG to both of you. Walter, any thoughts, anything you'd like to end this out on?
Surprisingly, I had the same train of thought after doing pod. I was thinking Meyer or Ice Palace. I already had the shot at that point, so I decided to go Meyer, and that ended up being the right choice.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I
Meyer
did
paying
go
off to the
mode-
boots. Yeah.
I did go mode Ice, I did go mode Turtle Rock, and I skipped Swamp and Skull Woods as well.
Yeah, that's a huge difference because I didn't get to go mode anything but Turtle Rock because picking up the boots in Meyer was my go mode. But oh well.
Yeah, that and so goes the nature of Rando.
Yep.
So, any closing thoughts there, Walter?
Not really. I think you all summed it up pretty good. But GG's again to both our runners. It was a really interesting to see you go through.
Absolutely agree. So, with that all being said, I once again big shout outs to the SG crew. Races are going on all the time. This is the top 128, even though there are eliminations happening. There's going to be plenty of races going through, getting all the way up to the finals on SG 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and ALTTP Randomizer 1, 2, 3, and 4. All those are places that I would suggest to follow, as well as the runners, AaronDobbe and Numberplay. Give them a follow. They deserve it. They provided your entertainment, as well as our tracker, Vinyl Knight, doing a fantastic job, making sure that all those buttons were clicked. That is a lot of things they had to do today, and keeping up with all this, as well as the SG folks, just making sure that we have a place to watch this kind of stuff. And to you, the fans, thank you very much for being here. Without y'all, we don't have really anybody to perform for. So thank you very much. I hope y'all have a wonderful day and keep on enjoying Rando.